Sales and marketing are fertile ground for indirect network effects and complementarity strategy, which are a natural first phase for digital transformation. These are ideal areas to apply early stage economies of collaborative integration efforts, something that will be essential to survival and success in the forthcoming Web 3.0 era. The complementarity strategy will impact both offline and online sales channels. Online channels offer wonderful integration possibilities with third parties for a seamless one-stop shop customer buying experience. This improves the customer value proposition, and the firm is rewarded with increased revenues and market share due to the cross-sell dynamic. A dedicated business development professional is critical to the process of courting and signing ideal third-party collaborators, who are crucial in implementing complementarity strategies. The right sales experience and business understanding helps identify dynamic cross-sell opportunities from possible partners with subtle but critical challenges. A good biz dev pro should also understand the systemic economics of complementarity and indirect network effects. This will help ensure the firm immediately partners with those with legitimate cross-sell possibilities. Good biz dev pros will know how to communicate and negotiate deals that facilitate win-win scenarios for both the employer and partner. Healthy shared incentives are critical to initial and lasting success. Because B2B offerings often require specialized knowledge to sell effectively, the biz dev pro's prior enterprise sales experience will be vital to implementing complementarity sales channels that work. Varying incentives will influence a salesperson's motivation to cross-sell or upsell. Thus, recruiting the ideal third-party product providers and implementing effective sales team incentives requires a biz dev pro with foresight, vision, and experience. The role of business development is essential to complex digital transformation strategy and implementation. In order to provide a seamless one-stop shop buying experience for customers, essential to complementarity strategy, digital transformation budgets need to include improvements to online buying experience. Typical customer touchpoints like pre-sales, sales, support, and training need to be automated. Brian Halligan, co-founder and CEO of HubSpot, in a November 20th, 2018 Harvard Business Review article, came up with this formula for customer touches. Quote, in a better product market, 80% of the touches with your customers are handled by humans, your employees. Human touches entail friction. In a lighter experience market, 80% of your customer touches need to be self-service and only 20% full service with humans. End quote. B2C operations are typically high volume operations. As such, customer purchases are low touch transactions. You could say then that most customer sales processes in B2C are less active selling and more enablement to buy. It is, after all, a volume game. Shifting much of this type of sales enablement process to online and automating it for self-serve is quite practical. The human touch was never that relevant to the sales process to begin with. As a result, we are witnessing a rather easy disintermediation of bricks and mortar retail sales channels by online shopping giants such as Amazon, which effectively use complementarity, including the one-stop shop strategy. The bigger ticket B2C items like real estate, automobiles, or wealth management are a little less prone to complete automation. In such cases, it becomes more critical to integrate the online and offline buying, selling experience for seamless handoffs. My recent experience with the TD Bank mobile app was an example of how seamless the handoff can be. Because I needed to move some money between registered and non-registered accounts, a customer service rep's assistance was required. Calling from within the TD mobile app pre-verified me in the rep's CRM. That meant no annoying security questions before we got down to the task at hand. For B2C Volume Operations to move 80% of their customer touches to a convenient self-service automated environment, Halligan recommends 80% of the vendor's IT budget be dedicated to making the customer's experience more efficient. In the past, that same 80% of the IT budget would likely have gone to product improvements. In complex solution businesses, typically B2B offerings, much of the sales process will remain face-to-face for now. Nevertheless, with the costs of computing consistently reducing over the last several decades, automating some portion of the customer's journey has become a factor of competitiveness. In B2B complex sales scenarios, it is much more important for the sake of effective customer experience that the online customer touchpoints via digital interfaces be conveniently integrated with offline resources like sales, support, and training. A digital interface improves the customer's value proposition when it serves as both an explorative deep dive portal and a declarative one-stop shop destination. For B2B, the deep dive component is even more important due to the typical complexity of the offering. In complex sales, the core solution is sold by the enterprise sales team. Often, though, subsequent complementary products or supplies are purchased through another team, typically account managers or customer service reps. At that point, a one-stop shop buying experience becomes that much more valuable to the customer. With the correct scope and depth of interface design, increasing online customer touches are not only attainable, but also quite profitable. Because of the unique dynamics of B2B complex solution sales, a realistic goal for the ratio between online and offline customer touchpoints is more like 50-50. Thus, the online interface has to be up to par to provide a positive experience for 50% of the business customer's buying process. Interfaces need to be optimally integrated with the vendor's full service functions like sales, pre-sales, post-sales, support, client training. Interfaces need to be optimally integrated with the vendor's full service functions like sales, pre-sales support, post-sales support, and client training. At StarTech, we use a handy Cartesian plane to visualize an ideal explorative and declarative user experience. Here's how it works. The x-axis represents content, conceptual on the left side and data-driven on the right side. The y-axis represents the user's intentions, with exploration at the bottom moving upward to understanding. The result is a 4-quadrant matrix which represents idea illustration, idea generation, routine data visualization, and visual exploration. To determine the ideal client interface in a Web 3.0 world, it's best to group the user's intentions into these 4 quadrants. The process for grouping can be done by asking 2 questions of each user workflow component. A, is the information quantitative, data or updates, or qualitative, conceptual or mental images? B, is the desired outcome an immediate decision, declarative, or research for a possible future decision, exploratory? Once the workflow components are organized in such a way, the interface can be designed for an optimal user experience, amplifying productivity. This entails effectiveness through richness, efficiency through convenience, and intuitiveness through natural flow. Depth of processing levels, deep versus superficial learning, is a continuum with the superficial called maintenance rehearsal and the deep side known as elaborative rehearsal, deeper, more meaningful analysis. Understanding how to integrate a variety of supporting media and content is elaborative rehearsal, which powers exploration, which in turn supports the declaration. The same is true when it comes to integrating a variety of supporting content or sub-services into an enveloping ultimate solution. Depth of processing is at the core of elaborative rehearsal, which facilitates superior user experiences. Depth is improved by 1. Multiple presentation media, subject matter presented from multiple mediums, example video combined with captions, and 2. Immersion. Users purposefully engage through elaborative rehearsal, example interactive Q&A, first-person role-playing. This diagram helps quickly visualize an improvement in experience based on depth of processing principles. UI design is a constant balancing act, simplicity versus completeness. To maintain an ideal balance, here are some useful principles of progressive information or feature disclosure, otherwise known as progressive disclosure. 1. Initially show only the most important options. 2. Prioritize according to user needs and business goals. And 3. Offer a larger set of specialized options on request. Disclose additional features only if or when the user asks for them or needs them. Good design requires designers to present only what's required for the very next step in the user's workflow. Users don't need to be confronted with secondary data until they either need it or ask for it. This progressive disclosure principle helps users manage complexity without confusion, frustration, or disorientation. Information architecture, IA, is the structural design of information environments or interfaces. The 4 essential components of IA include organizational structure, labeling systems, navigation systems, search systems. Once Web 3.0 critical mass is reached, the information architecture possibilities of distributed platform applications will expand greatly, generating a huge leap in user experiences for the average global citizen, well beyond today's software or mobile applications. To lower the average cost of enterprise sales and even shorten the sales cycle, a digital transformation is needed in both sales and marketing. Systematic integration between the two functions will improve the customer value proposition while the client is still a prospect. Salespeople need to be able to tie things together for the customer, painting a picture of what's possible for their unique factors, while leaving the niche items to a convenient deep dive self-service online interface. The salesperson's company website needs to be part of the sales presentation process in a scalable way. This means less PowerPoint manual labor replaced by a modular, easily customizable online presentation system powered with the latest information rather than outdated and disorganized slide decks. This presentation system should gather salesperson presentation metrics in real time, helping sales leaders and marketers adjust marketing collateral performance accordingly. The website should be designed in a way to facilitate a live selling process. That means industry insights need to align with the vendor's key differentiators, including its third-party partners that make up the complementary products in the one-stop shop total solution. This will help save salesperson's time, ensuring the sales team is spending more time with all of the buying influences. This includes time for client check-ins to see if they are getting all that they need from the digital interface, including identifying and gathering insights for any friction or bounce points. Salespeople are the front line that bring information about client pain points to the organization, which should help guide change at the business process level. It's salespeople that will be able to notice the fastest exactly how clients are taking to any changes resulting from the firm's ongoing digital transformation.